Hello everybody, weebrabbit here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something a little bit different. As you can see, we have it pulled up that we are going to do a The Legend of Zelda series tier list. That's right. There was a comment on the last episode of our Tears of the Kingdom playthrough by 𝐥𝐤𝐬 asking, where would we rank Tears of the Kingdom on a tier list? And instead of just answering the question, I was curious to ask Legend of Jonathan, so I thought I would ask him. And not only that, but I was like, hey, why don't we just make a whole tier list? That way it answers not only that question, but just, you know, now that we've played this newest Zelda game, how do we think it compares to other ones, right? So Legend of Jonathan is here, of course. Say hello real quick.
Yeah, what's up, guys? We doing a tier list now, you know? I'm pretty hyped because, you know, I've actually been wanting to do something like this for a while. I never mentioned it to you, you know? But I actually did want to do like tier list. That would be pretty fun. So I'm actually glad we're doing this, you know?
Nice. Yeah, so today we're going to do a Zelda tier list. As you can see, we have all of the mainline games, as well as their remakes, and we even have some of the spin-offs. Now, we haven't played everything. That's why I feel like at the very bottom there is a tier that says haven't played. But besides that, we've played quite a few of them. We have S, A, B, C, and D. And yeah, I guess the way it's going to work is that if we can't agree, like let's say you give one a tier and I give the other one a tier, we'll try to kind of discuss it, see if we can agree. And if not, maybe we'll split the difference. So we'll try to figure that out.
Okay.
All right, so without further ado, let's start at the very top. We're going to go from left to right. If you look at the little list of games that are listed, we're going to start with the original Legend of Zelda. So the original Legend of Zelda, the one that started it all, where would you put this on the tier list?
Me personally, I would put it on a B ranking.
Okay, so you think it would be about a B. Why do you think that? Like, why?
Like thinking from like the present perspective, especially even since I grew up with it, I don't really think that a lot of the mechanics, the way the movements of the character, like Link, you know how it works, how you obtain items and stuff, it's not that great compared to later entries, even like 2D entries like that came afterwards. But I do think that it's still good enough that I can't say like, man, this is like, because these mechanics make it feel kind of crappy, I'm gonna put it like, oh man, this is like automatically a D or a C because get it, those mechanics ruin it. They don't ruin it, they just kind of make it feel more awkward and clunky. So I feel like the plot's still pretty good. The way it starts off, like the series being that it's about this kid and, you know, he's on a journey, I think that's pretty good. So that's why I kind of give it a B, because it's still pretty good enough, you know what I mean? For it to be a good game in general.
I mean, for some of the stuff you're mentioning, though, about the mechanics and stuff, the controls being kind of clunky, but can we hold it against the game when it was doing the best it could at the time, though?
Yeah, that's the thing. That is pretty true, yeah.
Because I was going to say maybe like an A tier, but you're thinking a B tier.
Yeah. I think, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, maybe we could put it to an A.
I think it's an A tier. Like, I don't think it's a perfect game, but I think it's the one that started it all. I think that it does pretty well for what it had available at the time. I think the story's, you know, pretty interesting. The exploration's really cool. All that sort of thing. So I would put it like at an A, obviously. So, you know, we put on an A for now. It looks like you kind of agree. So we might move stuff around, you know, as we go. But I think about an A is pretty good, honestly.
Okay.
What about the second game, Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link? Where would you put this at?
Oh my god. The way I have reacted, I was like, okay, now. At least to be generous, a C.
You would put it at a C?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably agree. Like, not many people have a fun spot for this game. It's just very weird.
Yeah, like I feel like a lot of people, when I see that they have like a fond spot for it, I think it's the fact that like especially if I look at older commercials where it's like people playing the game, I think it's just the fact that, you know, there was barely any games at that time, and then everyone was just happy that there was a sequel to the first Zelda game, and I think that's pretty much it. And then like later on, people are like, yeah, no, this game is like not that great.
Yeah, it's a very strange game. It has a lot of really weird mechanics that some of the stuff that didn't really come back until maybe
Yeah.
some of the newer ones kind of have some of those more RPG-ish elements, you know what I mean? But like,
Hmm.
I don't know, it's just a very, very strange game. It's not bad enough to be D, but I would say it's like a C. Like I'm not very fond of it. Never even played like the whole thing, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just very weird to me. So like, yeah, I agree with a C. What about Link to the Past?
For me, definitely an A. You know what I mean? Link to the Past, I've always had I've always loved it. Same with its sequel, and all that stuff. So I would put it like on an A or an S. I'm kind of between those two. What would you think?
I think an A.
Like an A, right?
And then I'm gonna put it above the original Zelda because we can do that
Hmm.
too, right? So it's
Yeah.
above the original Zelda. I think it's also an A. I don't think it's as flawless as some other people act, where it's like, oh my god, it's like the best game ever. Some people it's like their favorite. It's not quite that high for me,
Yeah, it's
but I do
mhm.
think it's really good though. It's really
Mhm.
cool. Just man, it just did so much. You know what I mean? It was so big. There was so much to do. It was so cool. The exploration, the mechanics, the story, everything. It was really well done. I
Mhm.
really enjoy it.
The Dark World.
It's not
Mhm.
perfect to me. It's not one of my like, oh my God, it's one of my favorites, but it is very, very up there for me. So it's like leading the pack in A's for me personally.
Mhm.
All right. Sounds like we agree. What about Link's Awakening, the original, the Game Boy
Oh,
one?
um, the original, same thing. Man, like I love Link's Awakening, so I would put it in an S. But I do prefer the later versions because of the stuff. So I would say Link's Awakening an A at least.
Uh, yeah, I will probably put it at an A. I'll probably put it at the very end of the A tier because it is a great game. If it was the
Hmm.
only version that ever came out, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, just jumping ahead a little bit, it feels almost like it kind of feels outdated just by the fact that we then got the Link's Awakening
DX.
DX, which like improves it, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I would put Link's Awakening DX at an S tier.
Exactly. That's what I would say
I
too.
think that
Yeah.
game is perfect. I know a lot of people are like, "What? Link's Awakening DX is an S tier, but Link to the Past is only an A." Well, it's my tier list, so whatever. Link's
Yeah.
Awakening DX to me is perfect. I think it is the perfect little bite-sized Zelda handheld game. I think it really showed what the handheld Zelda titles could be. Because even to this
Hmm.
day, a lot of people kind of ignore the handheld ones. They only really pay attention to the main console ones, right? Which is kind of a shame because the handheld ones can be really good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like having some of these like more smaller, more scaled back titles. I think it's really cool. And this is the one that kind of started it all. And I have replayed this version. Like I said, unfortunately, I have played Link's Awakening, the original one, but it feels kind of outdated, honestly, because by the existence of DX. So DX just takes everything that Link's Awakening did and just elevates it. So for me, that's like an S
Hmm.
tier. I think it's like a perfect game. I love the exploration. Has one of the best Zelda stories where you're not even in
Hyrule.
Hyrule, but
Yeah.
just everything about it is great. Has like a little love interest going on. Has like these little really cool powers you can use and items, and the music's great. And man, it's just really great game. So I put it at an S tier. And like I said,
Hmm.
Link's Awakening, the original is fine, but it just stays at an A because the other one just like elevates everything farther. So,
Hmm.
all right, where do you put Ocarina of Time?
Ocarina of Time. Huh. Man, that one, like, I'm between A and B. I guess A,
All right, why were you thinking maybe a B? Why
because
do you not have the love for it that other people do? I can already tell.
um, one, because it's already on the, like, you can see it down there, everyone. I played, instead of Ocarina of Time, then Majora's Mask, I played Majora's Mask first. So then I grew a bias towards Majora's Mask, and I just ended up thinking that Ocarina of Time was like the more inferior version, I guess you could say. So like it's
Oh,
yeah. So sorry to attack everyone, but I mean Ocarina of Time I do like. I've been playing it recently.
yeah.
Like that, I ended up loving more honestly.
I would put it at an A.
That's
I would say maybe leading the pack for A. What do you think of leading the pack?
leading the pack.
Yeah.
Man, I think honestly, so far, I think Ocarina of Time has like even though like you get a B tier, I think if we put it in an A tier, I do think that yeah, Ocarina of Time probably should lead the pack since it was like the game that came after, and a bunch of people ended up liking it a lot. So
All
I
right.
think
Because I would say the game isn't perfect. It has some things that are
yeah,
definitely kind of clunky, kind of weird. I don't know. There's just some stuff that, yeah, isn't super great. Just thinking back, trying to be, judging it, right? But
yeah,
it is a very good game. It's like the story's great. All the stuff you can do is great.
I like the temples.
The temples are great. The fact that the jump to 3D is awesome. Just, for me, I would say it's a pretty high A tier. It's not perfect. Again, there's some games that I like more for different reasons, but I still think it's really, really up there. So I would put it at the lead of the pack for A. All right, we kind of spoiled it earlier, but what do you think about Majora's Mask?
Either an A or S.
Yeah, for me, that's an S.
Yeah, so like an S. Yeah.
And like I for me, this is my favorite game out of the ones we've spoken about so far. It's really weird because Majora's Mask, a lot of people, it's a weird one. It's kind of a black sheep, right? It takes place in a different area that has nothing to do with Hyrule. You don't even see Zelda except for like a little flashback. The mechanics are totally different. The tone is different from any of the other games, but that's kind of why I love it. It's just so interesting. It's just so unique. And no other game has ever redone any of that, right? When it comes to like, the tone and like, I don't know, I could just talk about this game for hours, man. It's just excellent. Like the mask collection, the 3-day cycle, the tone, the dungeons, the oh man, just everything about this game is incredible. I love it. I have replayed it so many times. I don't know. I just love this game. I just think it's so unique and I love it. And I think it's so cool. And I think the themes of it are so great. You can see it as like the 5 stages of grief. You can see it about loss. You can see it about growing up. You can see it about all these things, right? And like, I don't know. I just love this game. I think it's incredible. And yeah, for me, it's probably like my favorite out of the ones we've talked about so far.
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. It's my favorite one out of all the Zelda games. And it's cool too because like you said, a lot of stuff doesn't come back either. And that includes a lot of iconic, like they're not iconic to the series, but I feel like they're iconic to the game because a lot of people point out when you mention the game, like the final dungeon bosses, the mini bosses are unique. Like the weird Grim Reaper dude that you fight in the Stone Temple.
Oh yeah.
That dude, like he never shows up any other game. He only shows up once, and he's like the pre-ultimate like mini boss or boss to literally like the final dungeon.
Yeah,
and, like, you never see him ever again.
And then the whole thing with the fierce deity mask, right?
Yeah,
the whole fierce
like,
deity transformation, where it's like a Link, but he's like super ultra powerful, and like we've never seen that ever pop up ever again, except for like other little cameos as other like costumes. Like what is up with that? It is just so cool, right?
Yeah, and that's cool because it's implied too. Like same thing. Like you think like, oh well, it's this huge power boost, so like that means like the fierce deity must be like a good guy, right? And like no, it's like implied that like the fierce deity is supposed to be like a demonic like entity guy.
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
It's so crazy because you're not playing as a good guy being good. It's like putting a greater evil against a great evil, basically.
Yeah, it's like so weird. Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, then Majora has never showed up as an enemy again, which is like super crazy. I would love to see a game that shows us when Majora Man was like roaming the earth and then got put into a mask. All sorts of things,
that
man.
Stuff would be crazy, yeah.
It's just incredible. But yeah, Majora's Mask, out of the games we talked about so far, my favorite, so. All right, so we are in agreement. What about the Oracle games? Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Have you played either of them? I know a lot of people haven't.
I have, yeah.
All right, let's start with Ages. Where would you rank Ages?
B.
Yeah, that's where I would put it too.
Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of it.
I'm not. You know what I am a fan of? Seasons.
Exactly. I would put that A.
Yeah, I would put it A. At the end though. I think at the end's fine.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, I would maybe move like this now that we're at it. Like that, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Okay, time, awakening. Yeah, there we go. That's how I would leave it. Yeah, seasons. Okay, both of these games, I know a lot of people have not played them. I don't know, maybe we'll get like a remake of them or something someday. That would be really great to like get more attention on them. But the seasons, the Oracle games, Seasons and Ages, similar to Link's Awakening, that a lot of people hadn't really played it until like the Switch remake came out, right? And then everybody jumped on it, and a lot of people really liked it. They saw how charming it is. The Oracle's games are really good.
They are.
Like a lot of people, you know, kind of write off these handheld games, but these games are so fun. Again, you're not in Hyrule, you're in these different, you know, little lands, but the stories are really good about how like, oh, there's this oracle, right? And like for each one, it's a different oracle. She gets kidnapped, you have to go rescue her, you have to deal with the different powers, and like the games are linked, like all this stuff that's really interesting. The reason I like Seasons more than Ages, I like the Oracle that you have to save in that one. I think I like her a little bit better.
Yeah.
I like the powers from Seasons more than Ages, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
Like in Seasons, it's really cool. 'Cause it's about going to different areas, and you cycle through the different seasons. You know, summer, spring, fall, winter. You cycle through the seasons, and then different changes happen. And as these different changes happen, you're able to like access different things, right? In Ages, it's a little more complicated. It's just literally like, oh, you're jumping through time periods, like the past or like the present or like the future sort of thing. And it's okay, but I just think the mechanics of Seasons are better. And I think some of the side characters are just more interesting. In Seasons, for instance, I've always talked about it. It's a shame that we've never seen this race return.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, the how are they called? The subterraneans or something like that.
Yeah.
That you like, they're like these weird people with cloaks, right? These black cloaks that all you ever see is like they like walk around in cloaks. And it's like this little race of people that live underground. And there's like a whole little side quest where there's one of them that she wears like a little pink bow. Her name's Rosa, and you go like a little date with her. Like it's just so charming, so interesting, and that's like a race that never comes back.
Oh yeah, I found their name. The Sub-Rosians.
Oh, so it is Sub-Rose. Oh, Sub-Rosians. That's what one of them's called, Rosa. Okay.
Yeah, and then the race as like a whole, like the place they live, I think it's called Sub-Rosa.
Sub-Rosa. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess since they live under the earth, I was thinking they were subterraneans. I thought that was their name of the and then you have the little sidekick that's like this little kangaroo, if I remember correctly, right? In Seasons. Yeah, it's just like so charming, man. The games are really good. The mechanics are good. It's the right amount of like gameplay. The side characters are interesting. The areas you visit are interesting. All this really interesting stuff. I love the whole thing about the games being linked. Really interesting. But yeah, I would just say Seasons, I prefer it to Ages. The one thing that Ages has that's a little bit better, that's kind of a shame that Seasons doesn't have it, or it would be like the perfect game. I like Ralph, your little
rival dude.
That guy's pretty interesting. He elevates the game a bit because it's kind of interesting to see that you have like this rival right around, also doing stuff and all that, and like his part of the story is pretty cool. But besides that, Ages is just okay. Seasons though, I really like though. So yeah, one of them's an A, one of them's a B. Sorry, Ages, but I think Seasons just kind of has you beaten a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, next one, Four Swords. Where do you put Four Swords?
Four Swords. Same thing. I'm not really you know, I would put it like at a B tier.
You think like a B tier? And for me, honestly, I haven't really played it. I've played it for like 5 minutes once.
For us?
Yeah. So for me, I'm kind of, you know, so I guess I'll put it at a B. But I have not played it really.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem that, like, you don't really hear people talk about it. And again, that's not saying that's bad, because a lot of people don't talk about the Oracle's games either, for instance. But Four Swords, yeah, I just don't really know anything about it. I never really heard anything about it. It just like, okay, there's different little links, right? But like,
yeah,
is there anything more to it than that? Or is that like the whole gimmick? That's it?
Yeah, that's, I think people just mention the fact that it's like the gimmick. And they're like, oh man, remember like how we used to like play it when like we were kids, and that's it. And then people don't really talk about the plot or anything.
Yeah, so if you want to put it at B, that's where I'll leave it. I haven't really played it. I'll go with your judgment. But it's kind of a shame that, like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about it. I don't really know if there has much going on, honestly. So, you know.
Yeah.
All right, next one. I'm excited for this one. Where would you put Wind Waker?
Oh, that one for me is like an A.
Yeah, I would probably say it's also an A. I love Wind Waker. I think Wind
For me, it's
Waker.
pretty fun.
Oh, man, I'm trying to think of where I would put it on A. I know it's near the top, but like, yeah, I'll probably put it like second for A's. Yeah, and Wind Waker's great, man. It's so dumb when you hear about in the past people were like, "Oh, disappointed because of the art style and it being too cartoony." Like those people, they're dumb.
Which
Wind
is dumb
Waker
because I
is
felt like
great.
it, which I felt made it like more like expressive though. That's the thing that made it cool. Because I feel like with the cartoony stuff, it made it more expressive.
Yeah, like I think he's one of the most expressive Links in the whole series.
He really is, yeah.
He has all these different expressions. You can tell what emotion he's feeling. He's really humorous, like the thing where he meows, right? When he's
That's what I
hiding.
mentioned.
And
Yeah.
all this stuff, man. Like, oh, that game is great. The exploration is great. The story is super great. It has a version of Zelda that's like super interesting and fun. I know it's kind of a weird random thing, but I love the little lobster pajama shirt.
Yeah.
That's like a great outfit. Oh man, I love it. That's why we rocked it for a little bit in Tears of the Kingdom, because I just really like that outfit. And then like the music's really good. It has one of the best versions of Ganondorf too.
That's what I was gonna mention too.
When it's a
Yeah.
Ganondorf, they actually hear him like talk more, like his motivations, and like he's kind of a bit of a tragic figure, which is like really interesting. And like, man, I think that game's great, man. I love it. It's a great game.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like a pretty. It's not perfect, but it's really high up there in the A's for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It's, I played this game like a bunch of times.
Yeah, I played it
never
a few
get
times
tired
too.
of
Yeah.
it. The final boss is probably one of the best like ways to end a game.
Oh my god, the way that you defeat him—that's one of the most hardcore things too.
Yeah, and then what's funny is like after that, after this game, because like I know Ocarina of Time also had a crazy way of finishing Ganon, but it wasn't that crazy. After Wind Waker, which was really crazy the way he gets killed.
Yeah.
After that, with Twilight Princess and like games like that onwards, they really would make the finishers like really crazy from there on out after Wind Waker.
And I think Wind Waker's still the best one.
Best one because he like straight up in the head, like
It's like the most hardcore thing ever. Like, holy crap, dude. It's great. I love it. So yeah, Wind Waker is pretty up there for me. I really, really like it.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we agree. Next up, Minish Cap. Where would you put Minish Cap? Have you even played it?
A bit. I've played a bit of it.
All right. Where would you put it? And then I'll give my thoughts.
I feel like same thing, kind of like Four Swords. It's kind of a B.
All right. I'm gonna say it's a B, but I'm gonna say it's like the highest of the Bs.
That's what I'm gonna say
Because I have played it and I do think it's really good. Again, I think all the handhelds are kind of underrated, right? A lot of people, just don't really, they discount them. They don't really pay attention to them. But Minish Cap is really fun. I really like the power set. I like the whole thing about shrinking. I like the whole thing about the Picori. I think that's how you pronounce their name.
the Picori, yeah.
I think they're like a really interesting race. The whole lore about the Picori is really cool. The little guy you can team up with, he is your hat. He's really interesting. I think the relationship between Link and Zelda in this is pretty cool. Where like they're like these childhood friends and stuff. Like it's really fun. It's interesting because some of these games are earlier on the timeline, so you don't even fight Ganon or Ganondorf. It's Vati, right?
Which is the guy who would since we mentioned Four Swords earlier, this is like the origin story for that guy.
Yeah, and so I think that whole little part of the timeline is really interesting. I kind of am disappointed we haven't returned to like other villains like that, honestly. So yeah, I think Minish Cap's really good. It's not like great though. That's why I do think it's like a B tier. But I do think at least out of these, it's the highest of the B tiers because it's really, really interesting. I really like it. It's really unique. So there you go.
Yeah, I would definitely say that too. It's like the highest of that ranking.
All right. What about Four Swords Adventures? Where would you put that?
Oh, I've played that one. Man,
I'm gonna be honest. I have not played it.
You never played it?
I've never played it. I played Four Swords for like a little bit. Four Swords Adventures, I've just never touched.
Me, I played.
Whenever I've had access to, playing some GameCube games, that's not one of the ones I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go try that out. Sorry, I just have never played it.
For me, same thing. I feel like kind of like Four Swords. It's kind of the same exact thing. It's like a B tier.
I mean, have you played it much though, or just like tried it out?
I played a bit of it.
Because I was gonna say, would you put it and haven't played, or would you like actually be like, I've played enough that you could rank it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would put it like at least like B tier as well. Like it's kind of the same thing as Four Swords, except it's on a home console. That's it.
Yeah, I got you. So you'd put it maybe below the original Four Swords, or like where?
Yeah, like below it.
Okay, so we'll put that there. Yeah, I just haven't played it, so again, I would have to like just take your word for it. These are like the two games that I have never really touched. As you can see, like I have thoughts about basically all of them except these two, for whatever reason.
That makes Four Swords Adventures like interesting, at least, is the fact that like it's like timeline wise, it takes place after, what's it called? Like from what I've heard, Twilight Princess, and like it's kind of implied that like Ganondorf still survived somehow, and like he ends up being the antagonist. But that's pretty much it.
Got you. That's kind of weird, huh? I know nothing about it. So, speaking of which, you just mentioned it. Where would you put Twilight Princess?
That one I would put like A tier.
All right, I would also put that A tier. Oh man, where did I put this one? Where would you put it? First place, second place, third place? Where would you put this one?
Man, like me, like first place.
I think I would put it like first place too, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, no offense to Ocarina of Time, like this.
I was gonna say move Wind Waker. Yeah.
I would play Wind Waker 9 times out of 10 versus Ocarina of Time. Sorry, Ocarina of Time. Nothing wrong. You're a great game, but there's some games that I just replay more. I just don't know why. They just gel with me a bit more. Twilight Princess, same thing. I would probably put it, so far, top of the A tier. It's not perfect. It definitely has some things that are kind of weird about it. Some of the, I don't know, there's some stuff like the light tears or whatever, those are kind of weird. Some of the stuff you're playing the Wii version, some of the motion controls are kind of iffy. But it is just a great game. Kind of like Majora's Mask, it just has a tone that's very different, very unique, very somber and mature, melancholy. I knew it was a special game from the moment I booted it up, and you get that. What's a combination of you boot it up, and you get that title screen, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty wow.
It is a really crazy title screen, yeah.
And then you start the game, and it still sticks with me to this day. That moment where you are just sitting, chilling with Russell, I think is his name, and he's talking about the Twilight. And if you ever feel sad or kind of lonely when the Twilight hits, because it has to do with like the two worlds converging basically, and like I don't know, it's like a really like, oh man, it just has like this tone, this like melancholy feeling, kind of like a feeling of loneliness that's just really well done.
Yeah, that game is crazy.
It just goes from there, and like to this day, Midna is still the best partner character,
the best companion. Yeah,
she is like, she has an actual character arc. She is just really fun because she's like kind of bratty and like sarcastic, but kind of goofy at the same time and silly. But then she's also really loyal. And like, I don't know, just the places you go with that character are great. Her theme is great. The story of like having to save the world from this issue is great. And Xanth is just such a weird character, and it's kind of weird where he goes. Some people don't like it. I really like it. I think it's kind of fun to see him break down and see he's kind of a bit of a man-child after all. I think that's really great. The dungeons are pretty interesting. I like the dungeons. They're weird, but they're really unique. The races and the way they portray them are really good. The different items you can get. That's probably one of the things I don't like. Some of the items you like never really use. Like the spinner. Where do you really use the spinner? Where do you really use some of these things, right? Those are kind of goofy, but it's still fun. At least as you're playing the dungeons, it's still fun. The combat is really good. like I love that you can do like the finisher, like the finishing blow, and then like when Link puts the sword away, like he like poses. That's a great. Some games don't do that. Like there's all these little things about this game that are like just awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I remember from Twilight Princess liking a lot. I would say that yeah,
The
like it's
hero
not
shade and the
that's a
freaking
crazy
Howled
thing.
stones, those are great. Like all these
Those are
little
things I remember
parts,
the most.
all
Yeah.
these little parts that make up this game are just incredible. So I would say it's probably like an A tier leading the pack for me. It's great.
Hmm.
One of my favorite games. I've replayed it quite a few times. I love it. So ah, alrighty, moving on. Next one on the list. These kind of go together, right? But first one is Phantom Hourglass. Where would you rank that one? Have you even played it? Like
Nope, I
really?
never played it.
So you've never played it? Okay, so that's a little interesting. I have played it. Uh, I don't know. I feel like I would either put it at low B or high C. I just am not too fond of the mechanics. They're kind of weird. And I think it's like a really weird follow-up to Wind Waker 2. I'll put it at a B. I'll be fair to it. I'll put it at a B. I'll put it like right here, I guess. It's not a terrible game. I don't think there's really any games of Zelda that are terrible, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, I just don't find it very interesting. Like the most interesting part is probably this guy. I forget what his name is, the guy that you sail with. He's a pretty fun character. He's pretty interesting. But as a follow-up to Wind Waker, it's just kind of weird. The mechanics just feel like way too gimmicky to me just because it's on the DS, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The story isn't like that great. It's really like, oh, you're on like a ghost ship or whatever. I forget. Like,
Oh yeah, Lineback. That's the name of the dude.
yeah, Lineback's kind of cool. He's pretty interesting, but I don't know. I'd probably put it like, at a B. You know, it's been a while since I've played it too. To be fair, I haven't like returned to it. Maybe if I return to it one of these days, maybe it would like rank a little bit higher. But I'd put it at a B. I don't want to. I don't want to put it at a C. I'll put it at a B, but like low B. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I probably should revisit it someday. I just haven't because I just remember it being kind of a weird follow up to Wind Waker and very gimmicky, and I don't know. I'm not too fond of it, so you know.
Yeah.
What about Spirit Tracks? Have you played Spirit Tracks at all?
Nope.
All right, so that's another weird one. This one I do rank higher. I do think it is better than Hourglass for sure. It's a weird game. These two games are probably some of the weirdest in the series. Like just saying again, they just feel very gimmicky, very like, oh, it's on the DS, and like so all these weird DS mechanics, and I don't know, like this one's weird because it's like there's these spirits that are trained spirits we've never heard of before. And like they just like it feels kind of silly, right?
Yeah.
But what I do think elevates it, and that's why I think it goes like at least like midway between B.
Yeah.
Is the fact that Zelda is your companion through the game.
Oh yeah.
Because this is the one where you start the game that, you know, Zelda invites Link over to the castle. I forget exactly why. And, you know, because Link wants to be an engineer, he wants to be a train conductor. And she trusts him immediately and gives him a little note that says that, like, something's going on with, I think his name is, like, 𝐴 or something like that. Like, the guy that's, like, in charge.
Yeah.
Chancellor 𝐴, I think is his name. And then she says, you know, something's going on. And sure enough, she's right that he wanted to, like, basically usurp the throne and, you know, all this stuff. And so she gets killed, basically, turned into a spirit. And the only one that can see her is Link. And so she and Link team up and you do your usual Zelda adventure, but it's just really fun having her as your companion. And like the relationship between these two is like really wholesome. It's really cute. It's probably one of the best in the series. It's kind of slept upon, and it's just kind of fun just running around and fighting and having Zelda as your companion in the suit of armor and stuff. So I would probably put like mid B. Like it's kind of cool. Again, it's still kind of weird. Like a lot of the gameplay, like on the overworld and the trains, and like it's kind of weird. But at least it's more memorable to me than Hourglass, and I feel like it has more going on. So I'll put it like mid B, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah,
because I know, like, a lot of people mention Spirit Tracks for the mechanics, and they think that the thing of having Zelda as your companion is pretty cool, and the final boss is pretty awesome, and like the music, and the fact that like in this game too, it's kind of shown that Link and Zelda have like a relationship or something. Like they're kind of, you know, and a lot of people talk about that too. They think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so that's like all I've heard because I've never played the game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I would probably want to return to at some point too. But yeah, these games are just kind of weird. It's like you don't even use the like control stick to move around. Like you had to like literally like drag
out the screen.
Yeah, it was like awkward. Like I would hope they remake these games someday too, and just like update some of that stuff to make it a little more accessible. You know what I mean? But I don't know. But it's still all right though. I still enjoyed it enough. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about Ocarina of Time 3D? What do you think of that?
The 3DS version I have never played.
I haven't played it either, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I just wasn't very interested. Because I've played the original Ocarina, I think it's fine. I've never really seen a reason to play this one, and I don't know. I just don't really know why I never played it. Like I've heard it's good, but you know why? Because I think you needed also the little attachment. That's why. That's what also prevented me. Because don't you need like that little attachment that gave you like another control stick, basically?
No, actually, you don't.
It's not this game?
No.
So was it just Majora's Mask 3D?
Majora's Mask 3D, they do recommend on the 3D version to use like the Circle Pad Pro.
Yeah.
But if not, you would kind of just do like this game. You just need to move the 3DS around like
like gyroscopic.
Gyro, yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. But still, I think that's the reason I never played it. I think that's when the Circle Pro came out, and I was like, having to have like this little add-on to play it, or using gyro, which I wasn't too much of a fan of. I think I just, I never played it. I'm gonna be honest. So
yeah,
I've heard good things, but I just, I've just played Ocarina. I've been fine with it. It's whatever. All right. So sorry, Ocarina of Time 3D. I'm sure you're a good game. But, I mean, to be fair, Ocarina's pretty high on your list, so you'd probably be somewhere similar, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
What about Skyward Sword? What do you think of Skyward Sword?
Man, I would say like a B.
Yeah, I'll probably put it like at the top of the B's.
Yeah, right?
But it's a B. It has a lot of issues, especially as we're talking about the original version.
Yeah.
It has a lot of issues. Okay, first of all, when it comes to mechanics, it has issues because of the motion controls. Some of the fighting is not as good as they wanted you to believe it would be, right? Some of the stuff can be iffy, right? That's one thing. When it comes to the actual gameplay, yeah, there's a lot of repetition. There's basically 3 areas you go to, and you go through them the first time. Then there's like a story progression thing. Then they basically tell you go back to these areas, do them again, and that leads to like a little dungeon that you had to explore in that area. And then it's just a lot of repetition, a lot of the same areas, a lot of the same stuff. It definitely works in threes more than any other game, where it's like you do it in 1, 2, 3, then you do this thing, then you do it again 1, 2, 3, then this other thing, then what, I mean, it's a lot of repetition. It's not great, right? However, the one thing I do think is really special about this game is the story. The story's great. I really like that, it's supposed to be a celebration for the 20th anniversary. It's the first of the timeline, blah, blah, blah. You see the origins of Hyrule and the Master Sword and all that stuff. All of that stuff I think is pretty good. I think, Zelda getting, Zelda being your childhood friend, and you can tell that they have like a thing between them as she gets kidnapped. And so Link needs to save her. He's like risking everything going to this world that no one's explored in like thousands of years and stuff. All that stuff I think is great. All of the stuff about Groose. Groose is an awesome side character. That stuff is really fun. It's his little character arc. Fi, I don't know, man. She's kind of annoying. But as you progress, you kind of warm up to her a little bit. Yeah, she kind of grows on you, because it is kind of sad that she is very loyal and doing her job. At the end, she's kind of like, I'm not going to really see you again because I'm gonna slumber forever within the sword. That's kind of sad, right? Her music is pretty good. So there's a lot of stuff story-wise that's really good. But yeah, when it comes to like a lot of the gameplay and like the mechanics and stuff about, you know, repeating a lot, that stuff isn't that good, unfortunately.
Yeah, mechanics are very iffy, and then like Fi reminding you like every 2 seconds about something that you already know because she already answered to it. Um,
Yeah.
then like whenever you pick up something, instead of it kind of knowing that you picked it up before, like it does it over and over nonstop, which is something that Zelda games don't really do.
Yeah.
It's only every 20 minutes when like you haven't interacted with the item. And the thing is, in this game, there's so many of those interactions compared to other games that it's awkward because every 2 damn seconds, there's always you picked up this specific ruby. It's like I picked that specific ruby like a second ago. You know?
Yeah, it's like really silly. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's like why? Like,
Yeah, the game isn't great. Like, it
yeah,
still has a lot of redeeming qualities. It's still a fun game, you know, whatever. Some of the dungeons were kind of cool, the mechanics, you know, some of the characters are all right, but it has its issues. So I would say B is about right for it. So
yeah.
what about Four Swords Adventure? I mean, sorry, Four Swords Anniversary Edition.
It's basically just four swords.
Have you actually played it or?
Yeah.
All right, I have not played it at all.
This
I've already.
one, the difference between this one and Four Swords is that Four Swords requires you to be playing multiverse multiplayer multiple times, like constantly. This version you can play by yourself.
Ah, interesting. What do you think? Where would you put it?
I would still give it a B, honestly. The Four Swords games, I'm sorry, but they're like at least a B rank.
Where above Four Swords, the original, or below it?
I would put at least like above Four Swords.
Okay, cool. All right, there we go. I'll take your word for it. Again, I know nothing about this series. I mean, when it comes to like this little, you know, I don't know anything about those. So okay. All right, next up, I'm excited for this one. What about Wind Waker HD?
Oh, that one, like that's like an A as well.
For me, I would say it's an S tier. Because
Actually, wait, no,
I
no,
think
no.
Wind Waker is
Yeah,
already
actually,
A
yeah, it
tier.
is. Mhm,
This one made the game even better, honestly.
yeah, actually, yeah, no, put it to S tier. Yeah, I agree with that. Never mind.
Yeah, because I think this just made the game. Which one? Second or third place though?
Like I don't know, a second place.
I think second place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this took everything about Wind Waker that was already awesome, and it just improved it. Like this,
yeah,
I would say this version is like the definitive version because I don't think it has anything that I would say the original did better. This one, like I said, it just took everything and made it better. It gave it better graphics. It
music.
added some music that was a little bit better. It added the picture mode, which is really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Picture mode was fun. It added the I don't know, what am I thinking of? There's a thing I'm thinking of. It added the oh my god, why am I blanking on what I'm trying to think of?
Another thing they heavily improved on that we never mentioned was the Triforce class.
That's what I was gonna say. There, that's what I was trying to think of. Yes, I couldn't think of the name.
That one heavily improved
It
on it.
added the sail that makes the Triforce quest faster because you can sail back and forth faster and all this stuff. It improved
yeah,
a lot of
and
that endgame stuff. Yeah.
And it reduced the amount of Triforce pieces you had to collect, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And they and then unlike in the original where you had to keep, which I'm not saying you you don't have to constantly go to Tingle either, but the difference is that in this version specifically there was a Triforce map that had the stuff labeled as you go. The way the original one worked was that you had to get a mysterious map each time, go to Tingle, he had to fill up that specific map, and you would go to that specific location just to get the Triforce piece. Here, on the other hand, there was a map that he would specifically fill out that was for every single Triforce piece.
Yeah, so they streamlined a lot of that stuff for the endgame stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think this version has any like cons to it, honestly.
There really isn't. Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're like super fond of the Tingle tuner and using the GBA, I guess it doesn't have that.
Yeah.
But I would say that's very minor, honestly. Like I just don't even care. So I would say this version took everything from the original that was already great and just like elevated it. So that's why I would think it's like an S tier. It's like really, really good.
Yeah, that's all I would say too.
All right, pretty good, pretty good. What about Link Between Worlds? Where would you put that?
Link Between Worlds. I like Links Between Worlds a lot. It's either between A or S.
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is great. It's one of those
Mhm.
games that, you know, it just kind of came out at a weird time, right? It was kind of like the last, oh, it wasn't the last one, but it's one of the last handheld ones we got.
Mhm.
And, you know, it came out between some really big titles, so it's kind of like a weird one. But Link Between Worlds is really good. I really
It
like
really
it.
is, yeah.
Yeah, I would probably put it in A tier.
A tier, huh?
Yeah, I'd probably put it
Mhm.
like, oh man. Yeah, right here, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably put it right there. But yeah, League of Two Worlds is great. It's really fun. That mechanic of turning into like a painting and like all the stuff you can do is really great.
Oh, that was awesome,
The
yeah.
exploration is great. The fact that you can tackle dungeons in whatever order you want is great. The story is really good with the whole thing about low rule and how it's like this counterpart to high rule and the characters that live in that area and stuff and Ravi and everything. Like, it's really fun. It's really well done. And it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I'm wondering if they'll ever follow up on that idea of low rule. And you know what I mean? Like, I would like to see more of that world. And I don't know if we're ever going to go back to that, but I would love to see more of that because it's like really fun. It's really cool.
Yeah, man. Especially because it's so weird because after like this game and then like the remake of Majora's Mask, it's kind of weird because we never explored any alternate worlds anymore.
Yeah, that's what
Usually
I'm saying. Yeah,
those alternate worlds are pretty cool, and like it kind of sucks that they're kind of like still like, no, we have to keep making more versions of Hyrule, and it's like that's good, but then like what made a lot of these older entries cool is that it's like there was more out there, you know?
yeah. Just other little worlds that are around Hyrule, like Koholint and Termina, and I forget what the ones from freaking Oracle are called. And
I have them right now too. That's the crazy part. I can pull up really quick.
yeah, they're like low roll, which is like Hyrule, but like the opposite, and like all this good stuff, right? So
Mhm.
yeah,
Labrina, that's the one from I think what's it called? That's the one from Ages, I think.
yeah.
And then Holodrum is the one from Seasons.
Yeah, I knew it was drum something, but yeah, holodrum. There we go. Yeah, it's just fun having all these different areas. It makes the world feel bigger, you know.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate game would be one where you are able to jump between Hyrule and something else. Honestly,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
That would be really cool. All right, so all right, not bad, not bad. What about Majora's Mask 3D? Where would you put that?
Man, I am like I'm not gonna be like one of those people that like, oh man, they ruined like the 3DS version.
I was gonna say a lot of people are, oh, it's ruined because they changed the mechanics, they changed this, they changed that. I've never seen that. I've never seen that as a problem. I've never seen that as a problem.
For me, like I can kind of see what people are talking about, like because it feels kind of different. At least I would put it like I don't see bigger improvements on this 3D remake. I would just say, actually no, there is bigger improvements, like the time. I would say like either A or S, honestly, because I'm thinking like the Father's Notebook as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to put it, because there are some cons to it. So it's not like, you know, Wind Waker HD versus Wind Waker, where like what is definitely the definitive version.
Because this one, the thing that made it weird was like, yeah, like it's not like big bad things where like it ruins your life and stuff. Like people act like it is, but like the Zora and Goron mechanics were way different. In a sense that like the Goron one was okay. The Goron one was an improvement. I do like that one. The Zora one was kind of weird because you couldn't swim the way you were used to. It's like you had to rely on magic the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that was kind of weird.
And like the boss fights are a bit different. And,
or like they add a giant eyeball for some reason.
Yeah. So I don't know. So this one's kind of hard because especially because original Majora's already ass.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't have like so it's not like a definitive version, like from Wind Waker to Wind Waker HD. I don't know. I might just stick at the bottom of A.
That's what I was gonna say, right? Because it's like at least like it's not terrible.
Like it's still really good.
It's good, but it's like I would rather play the N64 version than.
Yeah, probably. As long as you like maybe have like a save state thing to help you out, right? So you don't have to be like Yeah, so I don't know, probably bottom of A, honestly, because it's great. It's still the game we know and love, but it didn't do enough. Like I said, like went from this one to this one, where it's like, oh my god, it like elevated it. It's kind of like iffy, right? So like A, bottom of A, I guess.
Yeah,
All right, Triforce Heroes.
I've never even, bro. Like, I don't even like it based off of what, because I played it once with like a brother and like a friend.
This is
But I've never played the
probably
whole game. I would say I have never played it.
this is the only one that I'm considering putting in D.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say I didn't really like it honestly. When I
I
played like
don't
those
know
five
if
minutes,
I don't know if I should do C or D. I
put
don't
it
know if
in D.
I don't know if D's be a little too harsh. But I do not like this game. This is easily the worst Zelda because it's just weird. Like it's all just mission based and like you have to play like multiplayer. Like I don't think it had the option to play by yourself if I remember.
Oh, there was a method of playing by yourself, but it was awkward because unlike Four Swords Anniversary Edition, where like I told you you could switch between the links, here you had to possess these weird like scarecrow voodoo doll things.
Oh, weird.
I know that sounds even more weird, right? And then what makes it even awkward is like, okay, it's Triforce Heroes, right? But then it's implied that there was like a fourth one at one point. So then that's what makes it kind of weird. Like it's really creepy.
Yeah, the whole thing of this was just weird. It just
That's what
felt
I'm saying. It's a
very
very yeah.
like first of all, it's weird because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the same Link from Link Between Worlds too.
Yeah, but he looks nothing like yeah.
Yeah, and then like the whole thing is just weird. Like, not saying it's terrible. Like, okay, I kind of enjoy the goofiness. That like, oh, there's this princess that has been cursed to like wear ugly clothes, and you're helping her. Like, it's silly, but like, okay, but like that's it. And so you're doing these missions to get like outfits to like help her, and it's just like, it's just very like, I just don't know. I just don't get it. It's just, I don't really care for it. That's why it's probably the only one that I would say I just don't care for. And I would maybe say it's like a D tier, honestly.
Yeah, and then honestly, I feel like this is the one that like we've mentioned in the previous ones that there's some that are forgotten, but no, man, I feel like this one like I barely even remember it. I only remembered it now because I brought it up, and the only reason why I remember it now from when we brought it up is because one, like I told you, I played it like once, and two, because like I think it was like something where like they would keep advertising this game so much for Christmas, and
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
For that was it.
Yeah, like the outfits are kind of fun. It definitely has like a lot of humor or whatever, but like I don't know, I just don't care for it. It's just very
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
yeah, it's just like what about Twilight Princess HD? Where would you put that?
Oh man, that one was a pretty good improvement too. Man, I feel like this is like the equivalent of Link's Awakening DX. I would put like S tier honestly.
I think so too, because I think it's kind of like Wind Waker HD, where like this version just took the original
It made it better.
and just elevated it with like some better graphics, some more streamlined stuff, right? The only thing I'm not too fond of are the stamps. I thought those were kind of distracting.
Oh,
But yeah, I would say this is also pretty good. I would probably put it below Wind Waker HD, like right here maybe.
That's what I was gonna say.
But it's really good. It took the original, made some improvements, made some things a little bit better because of being HD and some stuff like that. But again, it's basically the same game but elevated a little bit. So I'd say it's an S tier. I think it's one of those definitive must plays, so.
Yeah.
All right, Breath of the Wild.
Me, I've never played Breath of the Wild the whole way through, fortunately. That's kind of weird. I played more of like its sequel compared to but I would say an A actually.
I think it's an A.
That's
Trying to figure out where
like.
trying to figure out where I would put it though.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Like it's a really good game. Like it's not perfect because like the bosses are kind of right? Like there's not really any dungeons, but the exploration is good. The mechanics are good. The characters are really interesting. The plot and again the memories and like all of that I really like. I don't know where I would put it. I want to put it in A, but I just don't know where in the A's.
Above Ocarina of Time.
I mean, maybe. Maybe. I don't really know.
Sorry, Ocarina of Time. We have proved that there's other better ones.
I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of like the Ocarina of Time of this generation,
That's what I
where it
would
totally
say.
redid everything and really changed the mechanics up and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe like right there. I don't know, or I don't know, maybe I don't know. I think it might have to go below
No,
Ocarina
no, no, no. I'm just kidding.
because the dungeons, there's not any dungeons. The bosses suck
Oh,
though.
okay, yeah, actually, no, you're right. Actually, that.
Like, you can't beat Ocarina and it's freaking dungeons. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it just goes below Ocarina, but they're very close though because they both like redid everything completely.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I have a really fun spot for Breath of the Wild. I do think it's a really fun game, really incredible experience. But yeah, just those dungeons are what kills it. The fact that they're all basically the same thing and like it's iffy. It's iffy, you know what I mean? But I enjoy like everything else about that though. It's really good. So
Yeah.
all right, what about Link's Awakening, the new version?
Oh, that's definitely an S.
Yeah, that's an S version. I would put it.
Because I feel like it's an improvement over Link's Awakening DX. DX is cool, but this one just kind of like makes it like the graphics better and the mechanics. Because think about it like this, like you don't have to swap the buttons
Oh, I
to use
know.
an
Yeah.
item, and like the only thing you kind of have to swap is like R and L. I think that's pretty much it. But wait,
Actually, you know what?
what?
You know what kills it?
What?
The dungeon creator.
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
Sorry, original DX. Well, not original, but DX is so better. That's the one thing that kills it for this one. No, two things. That, and then you don't get the pictures.
Oh, that is true.
Like, how hard was it to put that little mechanic in? That if you're in a certain area, the first time you enter, you get the little picture for scrapbook.
Yeah, what the heck? That is true.
Yeah, so DX is still goated in that sense. This is still a really good version, and it does do a lot of things that are really well done. But the fact that it doesn't have the pictures, and the fact that it has that weird dungeon maker, which just feels like the fact that it's tied to like some of the hearts and stuff. Like, yeah, nah, sorry. It was close, but yeah, I still think DX is better in that sense.
Start crying.
Yeah, it's still an S tier though. I still think it's really good.
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying.
I think
It's definitely S tier.
but it's like bottom of S tier because yeah, that stuff just kind of brings it down, unfortunately. All right, what about Skyward Sword HD?
Okay, I played more of that one. I mean, it's still kind of awkward.
It is still pretty awkward,
Yeah, so I don't
but
know.
I would say it is an A though.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like
It
it's
is a big improvement. It's still
Yeah.
not great, but it's still an improvement. I would say it goes like here.
like above. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Above Majora's Mask 3D.
Because it's definitely improvement. Like Skyward Sword's already has a lot of stuff to like. This one improved a lot of that, but it didn't improve enough to put it like higher on A or S. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's still kind of awkward. So, you know. But at least it's definitely a step in the right direction, you know? So, hey, good job, you know?
yeah.
All right, our last main series title. This is the one that started this whole thing off. Where would you put Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh man, like, dude, I think this is where it gets kind of hard because I don't know whether to kind of say like, oh man, it's like the because I liked it a lot when it first came out as well. Like if I had to choose between two tiers, it would be S or A. I'm leaning more on the A side though.
Yeah, it is not an S. I'm sorry, it is not an S.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm leaning more on A.
Where in the A's though? Is it better than Breath of the Wild?
Oh man.
I feel like it's not. I'm gonna be really honest. I don't think it's better than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like it has lots of stuff that's really well done. I really like the mechanics. I really like the, you know, moves you get in this one. Like the being able to create stuff and auto build and, you know, syncing up to the floor, stuff like that. So in that sense, I do think it's better than Breath of the Wild. I think the only really move I really like from Breath of the Wild was the one where you would hit stuff and it would gain like
Oh yeah, it would build up momentum, and you can like fling yourself across the. That was
yeah.
cool.
But that's probably the only one I really miss, honestly. I don't really
Yeah,
care for the ice one. The one with the metal, basically, it's the same as this where you can move stuff. The bombs one, I mean, you just have a lot of bombs here, so whatever.
yeah,
But story-wise, though, I don't know. Like, it has some stuff that's really good, but like the
yeah.
memories are like not as good. The memories just felt more impactful in Breath of the Wild, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because it was all about you being an amnesiac and gaining your memories of what happened 100 years ago and your relationship with Zelda and all that. You know, it was like really special.
Yeah, that's true.
Here, the memories are kind of all over the place, and it's stuff that's kind of obvious. And I don't know, but I do like better the saving Zelda in this one though, because you
Yeah,
have that established relationship, and you have to like save her, and the whole thing with Ganondorf is kind of cool. The fight against Ganondorf is kind of fun. I just don't know. Yeah, I'm struggling. I don't know if I should put it. I think I'm gonna put it below Breath of the Wild. I'm gonna be honest.
you are gonna put it below.
I think I'm gonna put it below Breath of the Wild. I just don't know, because there's a lot of stuff that's really good, but there's stuff that just felt more special in Breath of the Wild, honestly. Huh.
That's just a nostalgia. Wait. Let me say the thing that a lot of people do. Oh, that's just the nostalgia speaking.
Oh God. I don't know. I think original Breath of the Wild is a little bit. I don't know. It's actually kind of a tough one. What do you think? Which one do you say is a little better? Breath of the Wild or
For
Tears of the Kingdom?
for me, I did more enjoy Tears, more honestly.
All right, since I'm not really sure where to put it, I'll just put it above it then, because I'm not like I could go either way. So
Yeah, that's where it gets tough too. Because for me, I'm more on like I liked it more, and I like the mechanics more a bit. The only mechanic I do wish that did come back was like the
that momentum
bombs,
one.
the momentum one, and the bombs. I kind of like the grenade kind of like stop bombs. I thought those were kind of cool too.
I mean, I don't really miss it since you can just have bombs at any time, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
I
true.
guess it not filling up your slots and stuff. I guess I can kind of see that. I
That's the
don't know.
thing, and it was kind of cool, like putting it, walking away, waiting for someone to come by, and then like blow them up. Like
That was pretty fun, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. So like, yeah,
All right, so are you good with where we have anything? Is there anything that you would move up or down or anything?
no, I think these are actually pretty good.
Okay, with that being said, that is it for the mainline titles. Let's see if we can do anything about the spin-offs and all that stuff. I don't know how many of these we've played. So have you ever played Ancient Stone Tablets?
No,
Me neither. Have you played BS The Legend of Zelda?
I've never played it.
You want
I
to fill
know
in
about those.
you want to fill people in real quick about what those are?
So if you guys don't know what why it says BS and then it says like the Japanese titles of the Zelda games and what the subtitles are, basically it was a broadcasted version of these games on a peripheral. Okay,
Peripheral?
yeah, yeah, that for the Super Famicom in Japan, which is the Japanese Super Nintendo, where basically they would broadcast to you on a weird satellite to your cartridge, like the saddle this thing called a saddle view. And a saddle view was like, yeah, a peripheral that basically allowed you to play these games online basically from a satellite that was in space, and it would broadcast down to your game and give you these games that you'd play. And a lot of times these were improved versions of previous games that had like voice acting and like a different plot. And those two games were basically games that were made in the for that like thing where BS The Legend of Zelda was basically just a remake of Zelda 1, and it just was the exact same thing as the original except with Super Nintendo graphics, voice acting, maybe slight changes to the plot, and that was it. Ancient Stone Tablets was basically just Zelda 1, except the plot was that you get to play as your own character, and it's like like you the player, it's like you get teleported to Hyrule, and you have to do is help save Hyrule during the events of Zelda 1 while Link is doing his own thing, basically.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's almost like old school version of streaming, honestly, where it's just like they were letting you play the game. You would play it, but it was like a limited time. It was interesting, but yeah, it was like only in Japan, so you know.
Yeah.
Or how about Cadence of Hyrule? Have you played that?
Nope, I have not actually.
I have played it very briefly, and I did like it, but I would not say I've played enough of it to really have an opinion, unfortunately. But I have played a bit of it, and I did like what I had played. But I don't think I've played enough to give it a fair assessment, though.
No, we need to get Mr. Panda in here.
I miss Mr. Panda, man. Mr. Panda was cool. He's gone. He's been gone for like years.
No, he could have been on this tier list, honestly.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, it's an old Nintendo creator back in 2020 that he just stopped making videos, and he was really cool personality.
Yeah.
So, what about Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land?
Oh, hell no. I have not played that.
I actually have played one of them. I forget which is the one I've played. I think I've played Balloon Trip of Love.
Holy shit.
Is that the one where he's trying to like get with this lady?
I think so.
All right. So this one I haven't played either. I think I haven't. How about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity?
I have played that one.
What do you think?
I honestly think it's like at least like a B or a C.
I think it's a C.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it wasn't that like like the weird timeline shenanigans.
Yeah, I wasn't fond of that either.
Yeah,
exactly.
Me and my friends have talked about that multiple times, and we're like, yeah, it's not that great.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Above Zelda 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. What about Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition?
I like Villager. Man, I haven't really played Hyrule Warriors Definitive. I only played it once to help my brother out, but it was only like 10 minutes, and I didn't really have like a great opinion on it. So I would just put it as haven't played. Honestly,
I have played it, and I really liked it actually.
You did?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I would put it though. Maybe like here. It's pretty fun. It's pretty good. I really like it. I think it's like a really good spin-off. Being able to play as all different characters is really good because it's the definitive edition. It has all of the different DLC and stuff, and I like the story about this evil witch that's simping for Link, and she's jealous of his relationship with Zelda, and so she like brings everything together, and it's a pretty interesting story. Honestly, I like it. All the characters playing as them is really fun. I like it, so I'd probably put it like around here.
Here.
Yeah. I have not played this one. This is the DS one, right? Hyrule Warriors Legends.
It's just a DS version of Hyrule Warriors with like DLC, and that's it.
And the original Hyrule Warriors, I would put at the bottom of A, because it's really good. If nothing else existed, it would be fine. But then Definitive Edition comes out, and it's the same game, but like with more. So I would say that, Definitive Edition's up here, original's like down here. Yeah.
Okay.
Link's Crossbow Trade-In.
I've never played that one. I've heard it's pretty good though.
Yeah, that's like an S tier, dude. That game is goated. You get to play the crossbow, and you get to like shoot stuff.
Don't you get to like shoot down like Ganon or some shit like this in that one?
No, the boss for that one is like this, like when you have the spinner, that crazy skeleton thing that you have to fight with the spinner.
Yeah,
I believe it's that guy. That's like the big old ultimate boss you fight out in the like a big old field.
Damn, for real.
Yeah, I want to say it's that guy, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, Link's Crossbow Train is really fun. It's really good. The only thing that just kind of pissed me off is knowing that they were gonna like create some other Zelda game. It was supposed to be like really unique. I think this is the one where you were gonna play as like a 𝐥𝐤 or whatever, and I think it got canceled for Link's Crossbow Trainer, and I'm like, man, fuck this game. That's the one thing, but I'm not gonna hold that against it. So
Yeah,
I would say it's an S tier.
Yeah.
For being a simple game and really short, but it's like really well done. So, did you ever play the My Nintendo Picross Twilight Princess?
No, but
I
did
never
see
even
the
heard of
trailer
that before. I never even heard of that. I have never played the Zelda tabletop games.
Funny, I said I'm like, no, but I have seen the trailer for it.
That counts as nothing.
Yeah.
As nothing. Yeah, this one I played. It was all right. I'll put like a C, like right there.
That's
it's
a
all
lie.
right. Huh?
You knew it was ass.
Oh god, no, it's fine. The
I
Tingle
know.
games are actually, from what I've seen of them, they're actually all right. They're weird, but they're kind of interested in their own way. They're kind of there's something there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I've never played. I've never played this one. Oh my god, the ZDI games.
They're great.
I know they're S tier, dude. Top of the S
Yeah.
tier. I've never played them.
I've never played any of them.
I know. I'm just gonna throw all these down here. I've never played them. If I had to rank them though, I think I've heard Wind of Gamelon is actually all right. Because you actually play as Zelda, which is actually kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And like the backgrounds aren't bad. If you look at the backgrounds, you know, like when you're playing, the backgrounds are actually kind of nice. It's just that the mechanics are so weird because of the system they're on.
Mm-hmm.
And like the goofy ass animation and stuff. But I've heard Wand of Gamelon is actually like all right, you know. Oops.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
This one goes here. Sorry. Yeah. Have you ever played Legend of Zelda Game & Watch?
No.
So I'm struggling. What is the difference between Legend of Zelda Game & Watch and Zelda Game & Watch?
Oh, the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch, I think that they're just implying that it's like the Game & Watch version that we got recently with Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Link's Awakening, and that's it. Like
okay, yeah, these I've never played.
Yeah, so I think that's what they mean, yeah.
Too Much Tingle Pack again, never played. If we're talking about like a old ass Mr. Game & Watch Zelda one, I have played that actually. I played it like once when I was just checking out some Game & Watch games. It was all right. It was just very basic though.
Oh yeah, but
yeah, I checked out some of these old Game & Watch games at some point. It's fine. It's fun.
Yeah, I played the one where Mario goes to Vietnam and he's like doing the bomb factory shit. I played that one.
I put it a C. There's nothing special to it, but it's all right. I'll probably put it right there. All right, so there we go. All right, so there you go, guys. That is our tier list. As you can see, all of the main titles are there. When it comes to spin-offs, Link's Crossbow Train is pretty goated. The Hyrule Warriors ones, I think that they're pretty good, honestly. And then I've played one of the Tingle games, and I have played the Zelda Game & Watch. I think they're just okay. They're just average, so yeah. And a bunch of the other ones we just haven't played, so you know.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. So there you go. This is our tier list. It is the best tier list. You cannot argue with it. This is the definitive tier list going forward.
Exactly. Don't argue with us.
This is the end all be all. This is where the game's officially ranks. So if it's not where you like it, I'm sorry, but you know you can't argue it. This is where it goes. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully we answered your questions about, you know, where does Tears of the Kingdom rank and where do we think the other games go? There you go. So that's how we would rank them. That's what we think of them. And yeah, I had fun making this tier list. I thought it was pretty cool. We'll see if maybe in the future we make some other tier lists. That would be good. Well, we should make what?
We should do because you know, like obviously, I feel like once we play more, you know, of that series, we should do a Kingdom Hearts one, and then since we've already played Pac-Man World 1, and obviously at one point we need to play the second one, we should do a Pac-Man tier list.
Maybe. As I'm saying, I don't know. This is fun. It was pretty cool. Maybe in the future we'll make more tier lists. We'll see. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. So there you go. If you guys like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell us what kind of where you would rank things on your tier list if you were doing this. And there you go. Thank you, Legend, for being here.
You're very welcome.
All right, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.